I'm not sure who iPhone is, so I'm just saying hi. Hi, Tracy. You could also comment in the chat if you want, or you can unmute yourself if you want to say something. Okay, so hi Tracy. Hi, I'm not sure who iPhone is, so I'll just get started. How is everyone? Do you guys have any questions so far for today? If you have any, you could just pop them in the comments or the chat, and I'll read them as you pop them in. Otherwise, I'll just talk a little bit. So I'm just curious to know how everybody's first day was so far. Okay, so just some things that came up, but I'm gonna answer it individually. So I got some questions, so I'll just go through them a little bit. So first thing, I just want to say that it's very normal that day one is very challenging. It's usually the hardest day, or sometimes even day two is very hard. Just 1 second, Rosa's coming in. There you go. Hi, Rosa. Perfect. So yeah, so it's very normal that it's very challenging. The first day is always very hard for most people, especially if you don't drink coffee. It's usually quite hard the first day, and sometimes even the second day is harder. So I'm not gonna lie. Um, so it's an adjustment. The first few days are usually the hardest. Like from day one to three, you might be saying to yourself, I don't know why I'm doing this. It's very normal. And you're like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I felt better before. It's normal. Okay. So I just want you to know if that's what you're feeling. So, hi, Tia me. I'm not sure who that is. If you want to, guys, want to let me know any questions in the chat, please don't be shy. So, yeah, so I just want to say that if you're feeling like me too, the first day, I always feel like more tired, especially because I don't have coffee in the morning. So it's very normal. And the more, I don't want to use this word, but the more like more you have normally, or the more like toxic the body is, or the more cleaning it's going to be, the more uncomfortable it's going to be the first few days. But it always passes. And I've done this many times with many people. At about day four, that's when people are like, oh my God, I never knew how good I could feel. So I really highly recommend that if today you're feeling like quitting, to just see if you can like keep going forward. Just 1 second. There's a person in the call. Wait. Okay, perfect. No. Okay, so yeah, so that's it. I just want to give you some encouragement in case you're feeling like you want to give up. It's very normal. Please keep going because you'll only really see how good you're gonna feel after day four, day five. So if you don't have any questions for me, I do have some things I wanted to touch upon. So some people asked me if they could have nuts. So if you're in like levels one and two, it's not really a question of getting because you could have fats. Whenever I say no fats, you just follow no fats, and then whenever I say fats, you can start adding fats in. But I'm gonna just like, and if you're on level three, I don't do too much nuts during a cleanse. Now, you could totally have them, and if this is really individual, so we can talk individually. But for the most part, if you're just having like a handful of nuts, it's very high in fats, which is very hard on the liver. I prefer that if you're doing nuts to do them raw during the cleanse. Remember, this is just 10 days, not for the rest of your life. You're just doing them raw and you're putting them in your food with your food, especially with the vegetables. So they mix very well, like in salads or like if it's part of a dish you're creating. I wouldn't do so much raw nuts, just like, or too much nuts while you're on a cleanse. It's just that you're making it harder for your liver. And the thing with nuts is that they're very caloric, but they're very small in volume. So in the stomach, you don't feel the calories. So it's very easy to overeat. And then once it gets to the small intestine, that's where they kind of expand and blow up. And that's where the real problem is. So, I mean, a little tahini in your dressings is a seed. Seeds in general are just easier to digest. You know, if you're using it, some almond milk in a recipe, I don't know, you're putting a bit in your salads. It's okay, but just not like overdoing it, especially if you're on level three. I don't really do much nuts in level three. Yeah, it's more like for the little raw fats at dinner time, and it's really to go with the meal. It's not just like I'm eating handfuls of nuts. I hope that's clear. The other thing people like somebody had asked, and maybe it's a good question, you know, like how come there's no eggs in the cleanse? So, you know, like some people like say, you know, like it's such a good clean protein. That's actually like not good for cleansing at all. So when it comes to cleansing, it actually eggs leave a big residue in the intestines. So they're very mucus forming and they're very inflammatory in the gut. And when there's a lot of mucus in the gut, it blocks the small little hairs that you have in your intestine, which are called villi, which is where you absorb all your nutrients. So if you're someone who eats a lot of eggs, what happens is you'll eat other foods, but you won't absorb the nutrients that well. So what might happen is that you have more sugar cravings or salt cravings, which is the body asking for more vitamins and minerals because you're not actually absorbing everything you're getting. Maybe you're going to be iron deficient. Maybe you're going to have issues with your joints and bones, hair, skin, nails, because you're not absorbing everything that you need, and you're going to start to see some health issues. So usually if somebody eats an egg, they won't feel anything. They're going to say, the eggs don't bother me. But then when I ask them to eat something that's very cleansing, like lots of raw fruits and vegetables, they say, oh my God, I'm so bloated. I can't digest it. Like, what's wrong? Why is this food hurting me? It's because of the other foods that just sit and like cause a lot of mucus inflammation. They're very gluey and sticky in the gut. They stay, and then when we eat very cleansing foods, we call them like room foods, where they go in and clean and scrape. That's when you feel the effects of the foods that you didn't really digest. And it's also like one of, you know, it's a common food intolerance. So I just remove it during the cleansing, and then don't listen to me. You see for yourself at the end of the 10 days, if you have none and then you feel really good, and then maybe you eat a little bit of like them again, you might say, like, oh my God, I'm so bloated after I eat this. I don't feel so good. Then it's for you to decide how you bring them back in after. I usually tell clients for like lifestyle and you're not on a diet, you just want to be healthy, to treat them more as dessert. You have them sometimes, definitely not daily. So message me if you have any questions on that. So remember, this is just a cleanse, it's not forever. Um, so we're just trying to give the body a break. Some clients ask me about intermittent fasting, like they do it, and like how does that? Oh, sorry. Um, Hi, Sienna. So we were just finishing talking about eggs and nuts, so you can
Hi.
listen to the replay after if you miss some stuff.
Okay, perfect.
So, yeah, so for intermittent fasting, like people ask me, like, is this good? Like, what about the lemon water in the morning? So intermittent fasting is good. It's whenever you give your body a break. It's basically giving your break or a cleanse every single night. But how it really works is when you do it very early. So I've seen dramatically different, better results for someone who finishes early dinner as opposed to someone who does the same, let's say 12, 14, 16-hour window of fasting than if they finish late. So I know most people can't eat at this time, but I've done it in my own body where I've eaten dinner at 3:30, finished at like 4:30 latest, and then fasted for like 14, 16 hours. So, you know, let's say 4:30 the next day, that's like I'm eating my lemon water at 6:30 in the morning, having my breakfast at 7. So I did like a good 14, 16-hour fast. And that's when I saw huge differences because you went to bed extremely empty. The body can regenerate while you sleep and really cleanse. And when you wake up, that's when your bowel movements are amazing. Your stomach is flatter, you're leaner. That's when it really works, lots of regeneration. It does not work well if you eat late and you consume a lot of food when you eat late and then you do the 16 hours, even if you only start eating at noon the next day or 1. And I even know people in the cleansing world that used to be extremely busy, colon hydrotherapists, um, people working in like cleansing restaurants. So they would go to bed really late and they would eat extremely healthy. Like you're saying, okay, you're eating a salad at 9 o'clock at night. How bad can that be? But when they switched to the earlier eating and doing the exact same diet, that's when they had less mucus in the morning, less congested, better bowel movements, less bloating, just healthier. So if you're going to do the intermittent fasting, try to eat as early as possible for you and then wait anywhere between 12 and 16 hours. And then if you have a lemon water, you're technically breaking a fast. You break a fast no matter what you have, but it's very minimal. I really wouldn't like stress about that. And honestly, during the cleanse, I would focus more on just listening to my body and eating when I'm hungry and not trying to fast on purpose. Like, listen to your body. If you need to eat more than usual, as long as what you're putting in your body is clean, you are lightening the load, and that's cleansing. And then if you can eat not so late, and then you wake up and you have your breakfast, do as you wish. But if you wake up and you're not hungry at all, then listen to your body as well. Fast, like just yeah, try it out. Um, okay, so somebody had asked in the questions, he said, this is very different from the way she normally eats. So, and she experiences lots of migraines normally. And so now, of course, because she's on a cleanse, she didn't say that, but of course, it's very normal to get a headache on the first day. Sometimes even worse on the second, not to make people feel bad. And so, like, what's the point of doing this if then she might have to take a Tylenol or something? So I understand where she's coming from. Um, but there is a point. So it's I can't so would I take the Tylenol? I don't know. Maybe I would still take it because it'll at least you're cleansing everything else out of you. If you really can manage it, I would try to manage it, but I would still take it. And what's the point? Well, it's just showing you that you do need some cleansing. Not to be like mean or anything, because I know nobody's perfect. Sometimes we just don't know. We've never done a cleansing. Um, so yeah, so what's the point? I say, well, that really shows the more uncomfortable you are, it means the more toxicity is coming out of your body. So what can you do though? I would do tons of lemon water, just tons of hydration. If you're into juicing, I would juice tons. Well, like a lot of watermelon, a lot of like fruit. Um, Go to bed really early. I know it's like not fun. If you can, go for a little walk, move your body a bit, and then just have faith in what you're doing. Because if you are questioning everything and you're like, why am I doing this? This is not a good energy. And then you will feel sick. Like I can make myself feel sick if I just think about it enough. So you want to do the opposite. You want to tell your body, this is so good for me. I'm giving you a break. As all these toxins are being released, I'm getting a headache, but this is just showing me what's coming out of me. Rather it have come out of me than be in me. Okay, so if you're getting those major headaches, it's a sign. And if you always get headaches, there's your body speaking to you. So symptoms are just the body talking to you. Yes, we could ignore them, but there's a reason why they're there. And so if you don't want to have like a long-term deeper effect, I would say headaches are definitely usually gut health. Not digesting properly. So maybe the stomach is not strong, the liver is not strong enough. So this is such a good way to support your body. Okay, so she said that. Maria, did you have a question? Did you want to ask something?
No, no, I was just sorry. I
You can
noticed that
keep
my
your camera on. It's up
no,
to you.
no, no, that's okay. It just came on. I don't know.
There's no problem. Everybody could keep their camera on. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
And then she also asked me about the protein. So she said like she's like worried about not eating protein. So okay, so first of all, protein takes it's the thing that takes the most amount of energy to digest. Okay, so it takes a piece of chicken, for example, could take anywhere between 3 and 5, 6, 1 day hours to digest, depending on the quality of your hydrochloric acid. So how strong your stomach is, how strong your liver is to produce bile to break down the fats in that piece of chicken, let's say for example. So how strong is it? So how long will it sit inside of you? So what if you are not even digesting it? Then what happens? It just ends up sitting, rotting fermentating in your gut, which causes a lot of CO2 gas, so lots of headaches, low energy, aches and pain, lots of acid in the body, which causes the body to produce mucus to protect itself, blocks the absorption of your nutrients. You have to eat more, you gain weight, you have sugar cravings, you have hormone issues. So because we eat something doesn't mean we're digesting it. And meat is so hard to digest, it's more likely that it will be something that we cannot digest if we're not strong. So to take out the work on digestion, okay, remember it's not forever. To take out the work on digestion, I'm removing the things that take the most amount of work so that the body has more energy or more time to go repair, regenerate, heal, and cleanse. Okay, so the protein removal, first of all, it's just 10 days. Okay, and the protein removal is just to give your body a break. And remember, there's protein in everything you eat. There's even protein in bananas. And it's not whole proteins, it's amino acids, which are easier for the body to digest. So you're actually more likely to absorb more protein from leafy greens, from like fruits and vegetables, because it doesn't require so much work. So more of it will actually get through. Okay, so they've done studies on people who ate like a whole potato diet or a whole white rice diet. They were never protein deficient. And not a healthy diet to just be on white rice. It's very nutrient deficient, but it was not protein deficient. I know you wouldn't think that, but it's because it's impossible for us to become protein deficient unless we are not eating, like malnourished, you're a third world country, you have no food access, then the body starts to self eat. It eats its own muscles. That's how you become protein deficient. It's impossible to become protein deficient if you're eating food. Okay, so if you want to eat protein because you enjoy it and you feel good, I highly recommend that just take a break during the cleanse, see how you feel, and then slowly bring it back when you're back on the cleanse. But I would even say go back slowly and listen to how your digestion goes. Start with maybe 3 times a week, if you want 5 times a week, five, but then just see like, oh, maybe twice a day is too much. So the more we eat, the more likely it won't have time to digest because it's so hard and then ends up rotting and fermenting in our gut. And then we eat more food and becomes more of a mess. And then you don't feel good. And then you feel like you need to do a cleanse. So that's what I'm saying. So this is why, for sure, as much as possible, we don't eat a lot of protein in a cleanse. For the people that are on like level 1 and 2, because you're a beginner, I didn't want to make it too intense, the cleansing, not because your body can't handle it. It's more because your habits, maybe your family, not to overwhelm you. I put it in a little bit and I put in just like more clean protein. And no pork because it's the fattiest meat that there is. So it's just really hard on the liver. So I hope that's clear. I could always elaborate a lot more if you guys have more questions. Did anything come up for anyone today? Does anyone want to ask me anything?
I just wanted to say, Vanessa,
Yeah,
I just want to make sure that I'm doing this properly because today I had a really great day. I
okay.
enjoyed everything that I ate
Yeah,
and I have no headache or anything. So that's very good.
yeah,
But I'm wondering maybe I'm not doing something right. So, for instance, today I made a really big salad with lots of vegetables
yeah,
and no protein whatsoever. I
yeah,
had some bit of walnuts, a bit of sesame seeds, but no, not sesame seeds. Anyway, some sort of seed, but not a
yeah,
lot, just a little bit. And then
yeah,
I made it my tahini dressing, which was like about a tablespoon of tahini, a little bit of olive oil, some apple cider vinegar, lemon, and I just made and I made that my salad, my lunch for today. And tonight was the same thing, except I added like about 3 ounces of chicken breast, organic that I
yeah,
air fried.
yeah. So that's fine. So you're doing level 1 or 2? I don't
Well,
remember.
let's say 1 and 2
You're
is
not
pretty much
sure.
it's pretty much
Yeah,
the same, except for days 4, 5, 6, 7.
exactly. And I don't remember by
Yeah.
heart, sorry, because I wrote it and I don't remember. I'm just gonna open it up for a second. Um, okay. So yeah, so it's fine what you're doing though.
Yeah. So no, I was just wondering, like, because there's no amounts of anything. It's not like, oh, only use a teaspoon of this or like 3 ounces of this, or you know what I mean? Like even Like this morning, I only had fruits. Actually, I only started eating at 11:30, and I had a bowl of fruits, different kinds of fruits.
Yeah.
And then around the 2 o'clock, I had my lunch, and then I just finished my supper not too long ago.
Yeah, so
So,
the portions, yeah, you ate perfect. The portions are perfect. So, okay, so just to be maybe more clear, because it's hard to tell people because I don't really know like how much activity level everyone's doing, what they normally eat. So that's why. But I would say you're doing perfectly. You know you're good if you didn't feel like you were starving, and you
mhm,
don't know you know you were good if you didn't feel like super heavy, like you overate too. So you want to feel like I have energy, I feel light, but I'm satisfied. So
yeah,
good. And in terms of like portion sizes, like you did for like nuts and seeds or like meat, it's like a handful, a little bit of nuts to garnish your salad, but it's a nice size. And the meat, it's the size of your palm.
right.
Um, yeah, but you
Okay.
did very fine. If you have no headache, do you normally drink coffee?
I used to before a long, and then at one point I removed it completely, and then every once in a while I have.
Yeah.
But this today, it's like I didn't feel it. I drank a lot of. I was going to the bathroom a lot. I was drinking a lot
Okay.
of water, lemon.
Yeah.
Um,
That's why maybe you
yeah,
feel so good too, because you were drinking a lot of lemon water. And look,
yeah.
I'm a coffee drinker, and today I didn't get a headache either.
Mhm.
I was surprised because I thought I would get one, but it could sometimes the body is just like it's able to flush it out, the caffeine withdrawal. So sometimes it's where it's not bad, like I think the cleaner you are, the healthier you are, the more you could handle the withdrawal, especially if you don't have it every day and or you only have one max. Like sometimes the body can handle it, and maybe sometimes it's on the second day that sometimes people get it because
Right,
today
right.
your body's like she might still have one, sometimes she doesn't. And
Yeah,
then so maybe at like the 2 or 3 day mark, your body, if you have it within that, then the body might say, okay, where is it? But because we're eating so much flushing food, that sometimes it like we don't get that headache.
uh-huh. And also for the gluten-free, is gluten-free bread allowed for
So
the
that's
grains?
for level one and
One
two.
or one and two, yeah.
I would say I would do it like get like a very good quality, like sprouted Ezekiel bread,
Right.
as opposed to like a gluten free. Because sometimes the gluten free breads are really like processed, and I don't like them.
I see.
So I
Okay.
would like it to be more like Ezekiel bread or something that is like a sprouted grain that's easier to digest. Maybe it's like with quinoa or like naturally gluten-free millet bread that's sprouted. So it's a lot cleaner. And yeah, you could do that. You could do like some avocado with that.
Right.
At dinner, that could be something you do. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anybody else have any other questions? Okay, perfect. So
I have maybe a
yeah,
comment, Vanessa.
yeah, go ahead.
It's Tracy talking because I'm a big coffee drinker. I would drink 3, 4 coffees a day.
Okay,
And about 10 days ago, I started getting a lot of acid reflux, indigestion.
okay,
And I mean, I've been doing the level 1 for almost a month or a month and a
yeah,
half right now. So I know it's not with what I'm eating.
yeah,
And I think it was the coffee. So I actually reached out to Rosa. We were on a call talking, and she had suggested again a herbal tea. And I started drinking more herbal teas now instead of the coffee. And I suffer from migraines, and I haven't had any coffee in past 10 days. And I haven't gotten a migraine or a headache by replacing it with water like Maria is doing. And I had, for the indigestion, I was drinking the marshmallow root.
yeah,
And then my regular herbal teas, I have the lemon balm, I have the nettle tea, nettle with with fennel. I'm trying to remember the name,
yeah.
with fennel in it. And I was very surprised because, like I said, I do suffer from migraines and I didn't have to take any pills. So maybe Maria can try herbal teas as well if she likes coffee. But
Yeah,
for
so
me, it
yeah,
helped me, and I haven't had headaches.
okay, yeah, because there's
Thank you.
someone else in the group that messaged me, but she's not here right now on the call, so I'll let her know. Do you just a question for you? So you
Mhm.
normally have 3 coffees, and how many herbal teas have you had now, like throughout the day, just to give me an idea?
2 to 3.
Herbal teas.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And I mix them up. Like I won't do one whole day of nettle tea or whatever. I
Okay.
like
Switch
in
it
the
up.
morning, I like the nettle tea, but usually I've been having the marshmallow root now for the indigestion before I go to sleep, or a lemon balm.
Yeah.
And no headaches, no migraines. So I'm happy with that. And my water, I've been drinking regular water. But I was worried because with the number one, remember you had suggested the plant-based milk. I had taken the coconut and the almond.
Yeah.
But so far, like I finished that and I haven't had to retouch it again. And my daughter-in-law, actually, I gave it to her as well because she's having a lot of issues with her in the indigestion. So when she has a coffee, I give her the plant-based one, and now she started buying that
Oh,
plant-based coconut
good.
milk and almond milk.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
it's
so,
helping.
like since we started working together, would you say like because it's a month now, you're a little bit more longer, but your headaches that were an issue are not an issue,
Not
correct?
anymore.
Yeah.
Not in like I'll still get one once in a blue moon if I'm overstressed with work or
Yeah.
my dad and stuff that I'm running and I don't sleep properly. Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean now I'm also taking a class and I'm gone Saturdays and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 5:30 on my feet and not like I'm having my salad,
Right.
but I thought I would be drained or I would be tired and I'm not. And like me because of the blood sugar.
Yeah.
Like I said, my blood sugar compared to what the doctors told me to do and the nutritionist there for diabetes versus what I've been doing with you. I mean, my numbers are night and day. Within 2 weeks, when I went back to the doctor on my blood sugar, he couldn't believe. And I said, I'm doing the opposite of what your nurse told me to do
Right.
because I'm with a naturopath. So he was like shocked. And you saw the numbers when I sent it from
Yeah.
the reading of my machine. It's not like I'm not lying to say, oh no, my numbers, they're
No.
fantastic compared to what I had before.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So I'll write that out because she's not here. So in case she
Yeah.
watches this replay after to give her
Mhm.
support, I'll let her know.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Tracy, for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Does anybody have any other questions or comments? Okay, so that's it. So, but you can message me. So in the app, just to hopefully it's clear for everyone, you're only clicking on 10-day cleanse app. I mean, you're all here, so you're obviously understood it. And you're on the feed only. I'm not going to put anything anywhere else. It's because I have an online course and I have other stuff. So the other stuff are like blocked out right now because I'm moving everything to this new place. So right now we're just using that for this cleanse. I'll post everything in there, but anytime of day you have questions, just pop them in there and in the feed, and I will answer them as soon as you need. And that's it. Okay,
Perfect.
everybody. So tomorrow there's another call. If you want to come, you're more than welcome. And that's it. You're doing a great job. I know it's not easy. Keep it up.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank
Okay.
you, Vanessa.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Anna.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.